Virgo, MUSI Virgo. We have reached episode 49, people. 49. So this showed up here end of June, beginning of July in 2023. And I had been looking at it because my buddy J-Man, whose name I take in vain quite often, had one first. I had seen them, but he jumped on one first, and I thought, oh, okay, he did it. And then a little while later, he has a deal with the MUSI guys that any returns that would go back to Amazon, he would take them in, see what he could do with them, and you know, maybe sell them off. So he showed up at home one day after school. A box was on his doorstep. This was in it. I get a picture and a text saying, you want this? And I go, yup. So that's how it got here. Shipped from PEI to Ontario. Now this comes with a black pickguard as standard, as the original pictures show on my YouTube channel on part 1 of the series. Was it only 3 parts? Yeah, I think it was only 3 parts. This was one of the lowest amount of work guitars that I've had to do in quite some time, and maybe the lowest. I didn't even have to do a fret job on this neck. Although now, in retrospect, I would have probably liked to have done a fall-away up here because of the way the neck is built. I think it's a little higher up here than down there anyway, and therefore I have to have it 1/64th higher in action than I like to not have some buzzing along here. It's minor buzzing, but it's buzzing. So if I was ever to undo this again, I would probably take some of the meat off of here, recrown, and then she'd be bloody perfect. So the black pickguard, as I digressed, isn't really my cup of tea. I know it's a traditional black on blonde, but you know, I don't like black on blonde. I kind of like blonde on blonde. So this yellow pearl pickguard just suited my fancy way more. Oh, the other thing I've done since I've ended the series is I did add this string tree, just because. I can't remember that I really needed it, but I thought, let's just do it, because I know Jay did it on his, and it's quite possible the string came out of the nut once. But anyway, now the other thing that happened was the pickup that was in the neck, the MUSI pickup. It's a good pickup. It's just a 1K lower winding than this Artec, and it's got a very similar tone to it, but this one has a little bit more girth. And so I decided, well, I was going to take it out and maybe I'll save it for something else and put in my favorite Artec. But I did keep the MUSI bridge because it's awesome. It's 7.2K, but it's really awesome. It's got 2 higher poles in the middle on this bridge. I can get it in there. Yeah, you see those things sticking up? I've never seen another pickup built like that. They have these built for them, apparently. Oh, and the other thing I did was the saddles. I eventually went away from the Wilkinson compensated to these Goto compensated style saddles because there's an actual groove and not just a bar that has a slant cut on it, that these strings will cut into the brass but can still move. So these are like the next generation up and the improvement over the Wilkinson compensated. I did change this to a 4-way just because I could. And I kept the pots. I changed the capacitor to a 33 from a 47. The tuners are still the MUSI tuners. They're still on there. They work perfectly well. The nut, as I recall, was well cut. And I had to end up finding the shim. Now, there was a buzzing problem. Because this was a return, I was trying to figure out, like, why did they return this? But when I started to set it up, I realized I was having buzzing on the 3 strings. And it was the first time I figured out that if the neck is tilted a little bit towards the top, like that, in the pocket, you'll get buzzing on the trebles, but not on the bass. And so I found out that there was a poly buildup right around this corner here, which I had to sand off and get flat, and then I had to get the shim to get the neck back. I mean, the neck is shimmed. It could probably use a tad more, maybe, and that would help me straighten out the fretboard truss rod a tiny little bit. So there's some minor improvement I could probably make to it, but as far as everything else goes, good bones. The body is seemingly, I don't know, it seems thinner somewhat than some of my other teles. I'm not sure that it is. It's not that heavy a guitar. It's got good balance, of course, with those tuners. There's a certain amount of neck dive, but if you had a strap on this thing, it wouldn't do that. Okay. I don't know what else there is to say. It has been a really great guitar. I haven't done much playing with it because there's so many that I have are here already, and sometimes there's new ones coming. I just had to get my fingerprints all off of that because I'm kind of particular about the condition of my guitars. I like to keep them kind of pristine, functioning, and aesthetically. The roasted maple is really nice, smooth. Yes, yes indeed. So this was a good bargain at a discount because of the return, and so I'm kind of happy that that this one happened. Recently I had a guitar just before the White Beauty that also had a problem with the neck pocket. It was the TT20 from West Creek, and it had the same problem here, but instead of a build-up on the outside here, it actually was lower cut in the pocket on this side, and I had to build it up to get it to flatten out and fix that. So it was similar symptom, different cause, different solution. 65 Deluxe. No effects. The bridge is very twangy, and the neck, being the Artec now, I love those necks. Number 49. Definitely was a good deal, and I'm still appreciating the fact that the MUSIs, when they launched these, they came out with good copies, very nice copies. I don't know if you could find a Squire Fender copy that has locking tuners, roasted maple neck, a nice body, CTS pots. There was a wafer switch in there, even though I changed it. Compensated saddles, 2 good pickups on it. For the money that these are worth, half the price of a Squire, and maybe a little bit less than half the price of a Squire now. And I don't think they can beat this. That's what I'm sticking to. Anyhow, I appreciate all your support. Catch you in the next one.